Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. A guarantee in legal terms is a legally binding promise where one person, the guarantor, agrees to be responsible for the debt or obligation of another person if that person fails to pay or perform their obligations. In simple terms, imagine your friend takes out a loan from a bank. The bank doesn't fully trust that your friend will repay, so they ask for a guarantor, someone who will step in and pay if your friend defaults. If you agree and sign as a guarantor, you are personally liable if your friend fails to pay. A guarantee is a secondary obligation, meaning that the lender or creditor will first go after the primary borrower. But if the borrower fails, the creditor can turn to you, the guarantor, and demand full payment. Every day, people sign guarantees without realizing the full implications. This happens for several reasons. Some feel pressured by family or friends who tell them that it's just a mere formality. Others trust the borrower blindly, assuming that they will repay and that the guarantee will never be enforced. Many people don't bother to read the fine print, and some even confuse being a guarantor with merely witnessing a document. But ignorance is not a defense in law. If you sign a guarantee, you are legally bound, regardless of whether you fully understood it at the time. Signing a guarantee is one of the riskiest legal commitments you can make. Your assets are at risk because if the borrower defaults, the creditor can sue you and seize your house, savings, or other assets to recover the money. Your credit rating can be affected if you fail to pay when called upon, making it difficult for you to secure loans in the future. You could also be sued for huge sums, as debts can grow due to interest, late fees, and penalties. The worst part is that, as a guarantor, you take on risk without any benefit. Unlike an investment where you might earn a return, once signed, there is no easy way out, and withdrawing from a guarantee is often not an option. When faced with financial ruin, many guarantors try to escape liability. Some claim that they didn't read the document properly, but courts will hold you to your signature, even if you didn't read the terms. Others argue that they were pressured into signing, but unless coercion or fraud can be proven, pressure is not a valid defense. Some believe that the lender should go after the borrower first, but in most cases, creditors have the right to pursue either the borrower or the guarantor, depending on the terms of the guarantee. Others try to argue that the debt amount is unfair, but if the guarantee states that they are liable, courts will uphold the terms regardless of whether they feel the amount is excessive. Some even attempt to declare bankruptcy, but while this may help in extreme cases, it severely impacts their financial future. In Singapore, the Civil Law Act sets out the requirements for enforceability, including that a guarantee must be in writing. The Singapore courts take guarantees very seriously. If you sign one, you are legally bound unless you can prove fraud, coercion, or a fundamental mistake, none of which are easy to establish. As a lawyer, I've seen many cases where people's lives are ruined because they signed the guarantee without understanding its consequences. My advice is simple: never sign a guarantee without legal advice. A lawyer can help you understand the risks and implications before you commit. If someone asks you to be a guarantor, think twice. If they cannot secure credit on their own, it's a red flag about their financial stability. Instead of being a guarantor, consider alternative ways to help, like co-signing a different type of agreement with limited liability. If you must sign a guarantee, negotiate a cap on liability, a time limit, or an indemnity from the borrower to reduce your risk. The law does not protect the careless. Courts uphold contracts, and I didn't know is not a defense. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.